One of the things that we want in most apps is the ability to incorporate a user registration and login mechanism. This is obvious for so many reasons, but a big deterrent in this process is getting users to actually go through the registration process, such as filling up a form. In a sea of millions of sites and apps, your app is yet one more fish which asks the user to fill up a form, and this can be a problem. No one likes to fill up forms or even remember passwords for every site, unless of course it is your bank account. Instead, and increasingly enough, sites are integrating social authentication mechanisms into their user acquisition pipelines. Social authentication or social sign-on essentially means that the user, instead of going through a separate registration process for every site, leverages his or her existing Facebook, Twitter, or similar social media access to instantly sign into third-party sites and apps. You use this process almost every day. Whenever you see a button on a site that says sign in with Facebook, you're looking at an example of social sign-on. When a user clicks on this button, your app jumps to Facebook, which will ask you to log in if you aren't already. And if you're able to log in successfully, Facebook conveniently returns you to the site where you came from and sends along a bunch of data about you, such as your name, your profile picture, and more. You then get a personalized user experience on the third-party site without needing to register and remember one more username and password. The actual technical process of authentication is implemented using authentication standards such as OpenID, SAML or Security Assertion Markup Language or OAuth. Now, this entire process does bring several advantages to the table. First up, and perhaps the biggest draw, is the massively enhanced user experience that you can create for your users. To begin with, social sign-on means remembering fewer passwords, and users tend to be very comfortable remembering their Facebook, Twitter, or other social media passwords. That's a plus, and you can easily get users to sign in. As a result, you get to personalize the user experience for every user. You also get to know your customers better through tools like the Facebook Graph API, which draws on a user's activities on Facebook to provide valuable information on likes, dislikes, and preferences, all of which can be utilized for customizing user experience on third-party sites. You also get updated user data such as photographs, since most people are likely to keep them updated on social media sites than on a utility or a third-party business site. And you get enhanced trust from your user base. Many users feel wary about signing up on random websites because you're giving away your personal information such as your email ID, your phone number, and even other pieces of private data. On the other hand, there is a much better comfort level when it comes to Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn, for instance. Moreover, social sign-on never lets out your password to third-party sites, and you also get warned about what pieces of private data, such as email ID or photo, are being shared when a third-party site accesses your social profile. Overall, this means better user acquisition because of the ease and trust involved in this process. This is especially true for mobile apps where it is a pain to fill up a form or register since you're likely to have a much lesser attention span there. As developers and owners of an app dependent on social sign-on, you also get the added advantage of data authenticity. Since users are more likely to provide correct email IDs, for instance on social media sites, you're saved from manually implementing a verification mechanism. Overall, you get to save on tons of development hours because you don't have to build a user registration and authentication mechanism of your own. With advantages, there are a few disadvantages as well. The biggest one is that you're dependent on the authentication provider. If that goes down, access to your site goes down with it. Moreover, since data sits at the social authentication provider, you have virtually no control over it. You can access the data, but you cannot modify or customize it to your liking. Many sites solve this problem by replicating a portion of the data fetched from a social provider onto their own local systems and using that instead once the user logs in successfully. Here is a very small list of social authentication providers that are out there. There are many more to choose from. However, this list represents the most popular ones in use. Out of these, we will integrate Facebook and Twitter-based logins into our chat application. So let's start setting that up.